Hello, Abnormal Investigations family. This is your second drop for the day, and this one here is going to be a good one, no doubt. It is a pretty wild one. I would like to say that I love and miss Hunter with all my heart. I can't wait till I'm back with him and able to talk with him and take him fishing and hunting. Um, I love him very, very much, and I'll never give up on him. The encounter we're going to talk about today is sent in, and I believe y'all are going to see this one. I think it's kind of scary, and it's also very interesting. I'll never forget the day my friend Danny and I decided to sneak into the mysterious institute. It was a building on the outskirts of town. Our teacher, Miss Johnson, had vaguely mentioned it, and for scientific research, but we were curious about what really went on inside of that building. As we approached the building, we noticed a sign that read, "The Lycanthropy Institute." Now, we kind of laughed and we exchanged a confused glance at each other, and what did it really even mean? Was it just a sign to keep us out? We had heard rumors about strange occurrences and eerie feelings around the building, but we didn't believe them. We cautiously made our way inside, where we were immediately struck by the sound of a ticking clock. It was loud and ominous, making me whisper to Danny that I felt like my time's running out. We were all joking and having fun. We explored the ground floor, finding a series of motel-style rooms with nameplates on the doors. One room had an animal hair on a pillow, which we all joked and laughed about. We wondered what kind of research could actually be done in a place like this. As we crept upstairs, we heard people talking downstairs. Our hearts racing. We hid, hoping they wouldn't see us. I mean, we was just downstairs. How could there be somebody there? We was afraid to even make a sound. Finally, the noise died down, and we dared to venture out. But as we turned to leave, Danny insisted on peeking into one of the rooms. I tried to warn him, but he was too curious. As he closed the door, it crashed into me, and I fell to the ground with a loud thud. And that's when I saw him, a guy emerging from one of the rooms. We knew we had to get out fast. I mean, yes, we were trespassing. We sprinted toward the front door, but it was locked. Chain around the door, chain locked. The clock chimed wildly, and we frantically pounded on the door until, one of the old boards finally gave way and the door opened. We ran as fast as we could to the nearest London Underground station, but it was eerily empty. Danny remembered that there was a tube strike that evening, which meant no trains were running. Before we knew it, the people from the Lycanthropy Institute caught up with us. We ran down the platform, but the train that passed by didn't stop, and there was no one on board. Like I said, it was closed and very eerie. We were trapped. After what felt like an eternity of running and hiding in the tunnel, we finally broke out through an emergency exit. But as we emerged on the other side, we were met with a terrifying sight that I swear I will never forget. A group of snarling, wolf-like creatures waiting for us. They looked like dogs until they stood up, and oh my God, we all screamed and started to cry. Just as all hope seemed lost and we were about to be shredded by these creatures, a black van screeched into a halt. The side door slid open, a figure yelled, "Get in now." Without hesitation, we ran, sprinted toward the van, and we leaped inside. I even cut my shin where I hit it on the bottom of the van. As the van sped away, we looked back to see the creatures chasing after us, their eyes fixed on us. We were safe for the moment, but we knew we was in no danger from the werewolves, but who were the people that had us now? The figure who had rescued us turned to us and introduced himself as Dr. Lee. He said that he was a scientist who had been studying supernatural creatures. He explained that the Institute had been taken over by a rogue group of scientists who were using the facility for their own nefarious purposes. It's funny, though, that he was in military fatigues and seemed to me not too worried. Dr. Lee told us that he had been working secretly to undermine their plans to protect people like us from their evil clutches. We knew better. We knew that he was feeding us full of a pile of shit. That very night, the military rolled into town. I mean, in a small town like ours, you don't miss military vehicles coming down the road, especially with the whole town of boys that love playing military. That very night, the military surrounded the Institute. We watched in awe as the building was engulfed in flames. The building was now being burned. There was a few what sounded like gunshots, and explosions filled the air. The next morning the property was cleared and the building was reduced to ashes. Years have passed since that fateful night. The property where the Institute once stood has been transformed. A small library now sits on the site, a beacon of knowledge and peace. Children laugh and play on the grounds, obviously, to the dark history that once lurked there. As for Danny and me, we've tried to move on from that terrifying experience. We're now older men. We still remember what we've seen and that experience that we had. What was the military doing in our small little town? What was they hiding in that building? Why do they pick the small towns? Well, some people think it's because the police departments don't have the equipment that the larger city ones do, and it's easier to test creatures on other people. I don't know, just things we've heard. What do you all think? I'm not real sure why they would pick small towns, but I mean, less people, less eyes, I guess. That's a really scary one. Y'all are probably pretty lucky. I don't know if the creatures were hunting you or if it was just part of a chasing experiment, maybe to scare you guys and to test them. I don't know. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments. Was they really after them, or do you think this was something that they done to maybe train these things to see if they could catch them and outsmart them? I don't know. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your heads on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner, and we'll see you on the next one.